I'm asking myself that question. Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Classroom of the Elite, episode 6. There are two kinds of lies. One concerns an accomplished fact, the other concerns a future duty. Okay, last episode, they had the meeting between Class 1D and Class 1C. Sakura testified, but it didn't really lead anywhere. And now the student council president, is that what he's the president of? Whatever. Suzune's brother is like he's gonna make a decision by the next day, I think 4 p.m. or something. Unless no one comes forward and tells the truth or there's no actual proof, there's gonna be expulsion on the table. And then there was this confrontation at the end there between him and Ayonokoji, where Ayonokoji straight out said that he believes Sakura. And then basically the president asked him how he was going to prove it or something or other like that. I forgot exactly what he said, but yeah, that's where the episode ended. And before we get into this one, if you guys have a reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/feelingme. And now let's start this episode, and here we go. Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comments in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review. Il y a deux sortes de mensonges, celui de fait qui regarde le passé, celui de droit qui regarde l'avenir.
だから私は偽りの仮面で本当の自分を隠した。毒で大丈夫。
When I first saw the text that sort of looked like stalkerish, it's not like I could read everything, but at least the first text felt like stalkerish. My mind immediately went to the guy in the store, the pervert that wanted her phone number and contacts and everything. That's where my mind went. I'm not sure if it's him or if it's like other people as well, since clearly she's been posting these pictures on a particular platform. I guess that's best suited for those kind of things. I don't know why people do that, but yeah. So maybe there are other people as well, and not just that pervert guy. And then she's like, I'm okay being myself. I don't think you are. I don't know. Let me just shut up. We'll see. Yep. Stalker.
こう暑いと冷静な判断もできなくなるわね。
須藤を罠にかけるには絶好の場所ってわけか。
一つ決め手となる何かが見つかれば。
そういえばここにはないんだな。
え？
Camera?
監視カメラ。
朝もそんなものがあれば最初から問題にはなっていないわけだし。少し試したいことがあるの。
I'm trying to think what her plan might be, but I don't know. She gonna... I don't know.
おはよ
His voice, man.
おはよう。
That's so good. Ohio.
う。必要はないんじゃないか。
He's observant.
だからもし困ったことがあったらその時は力になる。
Ay, ano ko di.
あのね、気になることがあって、綾小路くんに言うことじゃないかもしれないけど、
いなさくら、その話は後でゆっくり聞かせてくれないか。
Oh man. Ah, I don't like this.
なんでお前がここにいる？
What's the plan?
櫛田は来ないぞ。
Is he gonna beat them up?
話し合いがしたかったんだよ。
いいか、俺たちは
Some tells me there are no cameras there.
それが真実だ。行くぞ。
あれは何かしら。
だからなんだよ。
Wait, they placed a camera there to make them believe that there was a camera there that recorded things.
待てよ。もし監視カメラに映像が残ってるんだとしたら、お前らは何もしなくても無実を証明できるんじゃないのか？わざわざ俺たちに教えなくてもいい。
That's just proof right there.
カメラの映像は困るんじゃねえのか？
もちろん須藤も処罰されるが、お前たち3人は退学だろうな。
Yeah, he did say.
どうして学校は何も言ってこないんだよ。
学校側は試してるんだ。俺たちが問題を解決できるかどうか。すべて見抜かれていたと思わないか？
嫌だ。大学なんて。石崎、嘘だったって言いに行こうぜ。俺たち
結論を出すのは早いんじゃないか。まだ C クラスも D クラスも救える唯一の方法がある。
そんな方法あるわけ？
事件そのものをなくしてしまうのよ。この事件は存在しなくなるわ。
But would the school just let it go like that? Just because you withdraw it?
俺たちが口裏を合わせれば、学校側もそれ以上追及はできない。
一本電話を。
Gonna call that dude.
おい。
暴力。振るってみる。
You gonna fight?
さあ、石崎、俺たちの負けだ。堀北の提案を受け入れ。
Oh, I think he was the guy that got slapped and poured the water on, right? The wine or alcohol, either way. Maybe that's why he's so reluctant to just let it go like that.
取り下げる。
Why are you walking in the alley by yourself? What feels like a lonely alley? Like, be around other people.
昨日借りたポイントは必ず返す。時期は相談させてくれ。
いいクラスに君みたいな子がいるなんて完璧計算外だよ。
この計画を考えたのは堀北だ。俺は命令された通りに動く。
Right.
さくら。もしもし。
静かに。僕の気持ちは伝わってるよね。ねえ。
助けて。
もし困ったことがあったら、その時は力になる。
いいかい？僕の言うことを聞かないと、君の。どうして？今から僕が本当な。
家電量販店の店員が女子高生に乱暴。監視カメラにもバッチリ映ってるぞ。未遂とはいえ未成年に手を出したんだ。人生終わったな。
女の子に乱暴しといて逃げようなんて虫が良すぎるんじゃないかな。
僕はしずくちゃんのファンなんだ。しずく ちゃんだって知ってるはずだ。毎日手紙のやり取りもしてるし。
あなたのことなんてファンだと思ってません。もう付きまとわないでください。
ブス、このブス女、僕を騙しやがって。何でもないからな。分かってんのか。
いいでしょ。
くそくそ。
さくらと連絡先を交換しておいてよかったよ。おかげでここが分かった。
自分を偽り続けるって大変だから。ごめんね、ずっと黙ってて。綾野浩二君は私のこと変な目で見ないんだね。
He's special. I thought it was another kind of pervy scene.
C クラスを退けた作戦、誰が考えた？
どうしてそんなことが気になるんですか？
今のうちに綾野浩二という人間をできるだけ把握しておけ。さもなければ手遅れになる。
Huh?
そっか、よかったな。
やっぱ堀北が何とかしてくれたんだよな。
だろうな。
すげえよな、堀北って。
なぜ綾野浩二がお前たちの手助けをしていると思う？
Mm-hmm.
なぜ優秀なのにその力を表に出さないと思う？場を借りるなら不良品の要素を持った人間たちが集まる場所だ。
So he must have what? Some kind of aspect that's super deceptive?
不良品たる生徒は綾野浩二だ。
Based on what criteria? What do they consider defective?
これがお前の言ったさくらが嘘つきではないと証明する方法か。
全部あんたの妹がしたことだ。俺は何もしてない。
He's the one that pointed to the camera.
綾野浩二、お前が望むなら初期の席を譲って。
Does he want?
会長、
Does he want it?
本気です。
綾野浩二、生徒会に入れ。
断る。普通の学生生活を送るさ。
今はそれでいい。 アルベルト、Boss's order. Don't hate me.
底辺を脱落させて学校の反応を見るつもりが台無しだ。お前らをはめたやつの名前を教えろ。
Okay.
坂柳か。入学早々女王様気取りか。いい気なもんだな。
そんなつもりはありませんよ。
A クラス、お前を潰す。
あなたにできるでしょうか？
王は一人で十分だ。
Ay, ay.
作戦がうまくいってよかったな。
あなた、私を利用したでしょ。
Uh-huh.
何のことだ？
特別棟にカメラ。
Exactly, that's what you said.
約束したわよね。 A クラスに上がるために協力するって。
ほぼ強制的にだけどな。
何を考えているのか知りたいの。
平穏な日々を送りたい。ただそれだけだの。
あなたは友達のことなんて考えてないわ。あなた、一体何者なの？
I'm asking myself that question.
るための手助けはする。ただ俺の詮索はするな。
Wait, what? They showing like points? Oh, second. Private points. Anokoji, Kiyotaka, 16,000. Suzune 44,000, Sakura 23,000, Sudo 8,000. Ruin, that's the dude. 128,000? Yamada Albert. Who was Albert again? Oh, the dude that was started kicking the other one. 125,000. Omiya Yogo. Think that I know that person. 118,000. Kondo Rion. 113,000. Ishizaki Daichi. Oh, Daichi. Ishizaki? Did you know say what the freak? I remember the names like 2 million, 2.5 million, 2.6 million. Sakayanagi Aritsu. I think that was the girl that they just the class A girl that's already herself as a queen. Like Ryu and said that's Sakayanagi, right? 318,000. I wonder why they show these people's points, these private points, in lieu of other people. Like, why didn't they, for example, show what's her name again? The girl that I don't like. What is her name escaping me? Kushida. Why did they not show Kushida, for example? Why did they not show her private points? I don't know. I wonder if it changes each episode. Well, I've been ever since I'm not gonna say ever since they started the show, but like ever since the episode where the student council president attacked Ayanokoji, and then he's like, there's this particular student that was just like scored 50 on all the subjects, and that episode, and they showed Ayanokoji also his fighting skills a little bit. So ever since that particular episode, I've been so much more interested in knowing more about Ayanokoji and the way he just like analyzes things and just like point people in the right direction and give advice. I don't know. I just keep wanting to know more and more about him, And then this particular episode, they're supposed to find proof, I guess. Unless something happened, the president was gonna make his judgment and whatnot. And then they go to the location where the fight actually occurred. Right? They're there and they're like, okay, it's hot. And that probably sort of like went to Sudo's head, and he even acted more rashly during the fight and everything. And then they noticed that there weren't any cameras, but it was Ayanokoji that pointed out that there were no cameras. And then, excuse me. And then from there, Suzune is like, okay, I have a plan. And they placed cameras there. And then they invited those 3 from class 1C, right? They invited them there and basically making them believe that there were cameras there that actually caught the thing, and that the school knew, but that they didn't actually say anything because they were expecting both classes to sort of like figure things out, resolve things by themselves and all those things. And then they basically convinced those students to withdraw their complaint against Sudo. And I was asking myself, would they accept it? The school just accept it like that? I mean, what they said makes sense. If they withdraw the complaint, that there's not really anyone to punish, There's not going to be any punishment dealt. But I'm like, would the school just like accept it like that and just let it go? But the president said he did, so it worked. And then with that, you have the teacher summoned Suzune to the roof, I guess. It was asking her like who actually came up with the plan to make the students withdraw. And wait, did Suzune actually say that it was Ayanokoji? Or did this? I don't quite remember Suzune saying that it was him, but I feel like the teacher knew the idea came from him, and that's why he was warning her about Ayanokoji and that he should learn more about him. And I'm like, And then the teacher was saying things that the class 1D are for the defective students or something or other. And I'm like, okay, first of all, what are the criteria? Well, what are they basing their, okay, this student is defective, this student is defective. What are they basing it on? Like if it was, okay, these students are not good like with their studies or anything, that's why they put them in class 1D. I can understand. I can also understand Sudo because he lashes out, fights like all the time. I can understand him also being in class 1D. But like, what do they find defective? What did they find defective on each student to put them in class 1D? And what are they finding defective on Ayanokoji? Because clearly the teacher said that he was extremely smart, you know. But they found something defective about him. That's why they put him there, you know. So I'm like, what is she talking about? And then when Suzune confronted Ayanokoji about it, and they showed this sort of like flashback of him younger with other kids, and there was this particular kid right next to him that started having, I feel like, chest pains. Clearly something was wrong with him, and Nokoji just looked at him and just like kept looking straight, like no emotions whatsoever, no, I would say no wanting to help the kid. But then there were other kids there as well, and they were not moving either. So it's like, first of all, what kind of situation were they in? Like, where were they? I don't know. Do you know what I was thinking when I started like thinking about that? Like the Black Widow program in Marvel. You know how the Black Widows, they tend to go through these cruel training to kill the emotions out of you. And when he saw the kid just like there and just like started looking like it didn't phase him, I'm like, wait, is he going through some kind of program like that? I don't know. And then I started thinking, I need to look up your name. That I have a patron that recommended this anime to me, right? And that's why I started watching it. And the patron said that, well, he sort of described Ayanokoji as psycho. And before they even showed this scene here, I was watching the episode and I was wondering to myself, like, why did this patron describe him as a psycho? Because I haven't seen anything from him that could point to him being a psychopathic kind of person, you know? Because so far, all the things that he's been doing is just, it's like helping other people. He's like in his corner, observing things. If a situation occurs, he comes up with a plan and they execute the plan, and then things turns out okay. He gives, in my opinion, he gives great advice. So it's like, what is so psychopathic about him, you know? And then when the teacher started talking about how he was also defective, you know, and then they showed the flashback of him just looking at the kid on the floor and not doing anything. And I'm like, okay. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did some kind of eye roll. Like my eyes were just like, okay. Is that why he's being called a psychopathic person? Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Since I just started the anime, it's not like they're gonna reveal everything like in the beginning, just like that. We need to go through the process of it. But I'm like, because so far I haven't seen anything of that kind of nature from him. And then he keeps saying that he just wants to live a normal life. Like when the president sort of like confronted him, basically acknowledging that he's the one that came up with the idea of having Class 1C withdraw their complaint and everything. And he's just like, he wanted to make him a secretary or something or other, like on their council. He's like, no, I don't want that. And he's like, what do you want? I just want to live a normal life. Clearly, the president knows more about Ayano Koji, right? Then I wonder if is he allowed access to student files to learn more about the students? Because I feel like that might be why he's so interested in Ayano Koji. But Ayano Koji clearly is not. He says he wants to live a normal. I don't know. I'm just like trying to imagine what kind of scenario Ayano Koji has been through previously that now he wants to just live a normal life. I wonder if previously he sort of like, if he was a psychopath, he sort of like let loose of those psychopathic tendencies, and maybe things turned out a certain way that he's now sort of like regretting, and now he just wants to sort of live on a what's it, not narrow path, what's the word, the straight and narrow. He just want to be on the straight and narrow and doesn't want to make any waves, just want to live like sort of like peacefully. But clearly with the way things are in this school, if that's what he wants to do, I don't think it's gonna last long. I don't see that happening. And yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. Like that whole Sakura thing, it's like, yeah. I said when she started receiving those messages, and I'm like, I did it during the intro. I'm like, my mom went to that dude from the store, and it was him. And the way they played the creepiness of him, like, it's like, and when he started sort of like abusing her, I just like that the sound they were making, it's like I didn't want to hear any more of it. I was reaching to my computer to sort of mute everything. If you noticed, I wasn't even looking at the screen to read what he was saying. I didn't even want to look at that. I was just looking somewhere else, trying to look somewhere else. But unfortunately, I had my headphones, so I was hearing what was happening. So as I was about to reach out and mute everything, that's when Ayano Koji showed up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you. And it sort of also reminded me, I don't know, my mom went there. It's not like I fully remember, but I feel like a similar scene happened in Psychopaths, the anime Psychopaths, the first episode. Maybe that's why I remember, because I haven't seen animes like that. Like I tend to stay away from those kind of stuff. Like if I know things like that are gonna be in the show, I'm not even gonna be like try to watch it or anything. So of all the animes that I've seen in my whole life, I have never seen, apart from Psychopaths and this episode, I've never seen that kind of scene in any of the animes that I've watched. So when it happened, like I've seen those things in movies and shows, but not in anime, And when I see that happening, I try to, so either I'm fast forwarding or I'm like just not watching it or skipping it or something because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to So it's like when I tried to muscle through it, but it was getting to a point where it's like I don't want to hear it. And then I started reaching out, and that's when I'm like, thank goodness. And he showed up with Ichinose and police, and then they grabbed the dude, and it's like, bye bye, like go to prison, don't ever show up again. I'm like, ugh. And at one point I was like, I was telling myself that's why you should not be doing posting all those kind of stuff online, and getting sort of like admirers and all those things, because that's how you develop those creeps. But then it's like you may not even be doing that. You may just be like someone that just records like normal anime reactions or just watch stuff, and there are crazy people out there. It doesn't have to be those sexual images and pictures that she keeps posting and everything of herself. It can be something innocuous, and you just have a crazy person somewhere out there stalking you. So this world is crazy, man. I think that's why I watch fiction. I don't want to deal with reality. Even though reality sometimes shows up in my fiction, I don't want to deal with it. I just want to keep it away from me. I don't want to know about it. Let me just stay in my imaginary world over here. But sometimes it shows up here too, so it's like, you can escape it. What has happened? I feel like there was the scene between Ryuan, I believe, and whatever her name was, from class 1A. First of all, Ryuan beat up the other three because he did not give them permission to withdraw the complaint. And I guess what he wanted was to have someone expelled from the school and to see how that affect things. I think that's what he said. But then the class 1A and the queen, I don't remember her name, so I'm just gonna call her the queen because we won't refer to her as queen. So the queen shows up with her entourage, and then Ryuman is also there with his entourage, and then he's like, I'm gonna crush class 1D, I'm gonna crush class D, class C, and then I'm gonna crush you. And I'm like, that's A. He didn't say the queen, he said herself, but class 1A. And she's like, I guess try or something or other. What's up with this school, man? What is up with this school? That you have to crush normal school, you go to school, you learn stuff, you graduate, you find a good job, and you live a good life. That's how it's supposed to be. But in this school, it's like something else entirely. At least in assassination classroom, yes, they're trying to they're teaching the students to try to kill the teacher and everything, but they're still learning things, they're still learning, going through normal school stuff. I guess here too they do, but it's like I don't know. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see more reaction to episode 7, the link is going to be in the pinned comments. You can just click on it and you can watch it right now. I'll see you next time. Bye. You will never ever bring me. No, not your kind. Be blood and eat me. By bother each other.